We're all wanted men.
Where do you get the blue milk?
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Cantina Club. We're going to do another episode like we did recently where we have 3 topics and we run through those at 10-minute intervals. Basically a 10-minute time limit per topic. We've got 3 again this week. We'll be right back to discuss that after this.
We all know around here, Solo always does shots first. Singing your love.
At each topic. I talk way too much, as has been pointed out before.
Your love. At the Cantina Club.
The Samuel L. Jackson. Mother,
Ewokese, do you speak? Whatever it is.
Say Yub Nub again.
Dorian. Oh, check out the big brain on Yub Nub.
All right. Welcome back. We're going to get into our topic soon enough. But I am Corellian Traitor, and with me is Greedo. Not able to make it tonight is Gundark. She's in the midst of a ton of work, so we're going to kind of carry the flag for her. But first, I want to do a quick unboxing, what we call unboxings. Again, we're not actually taking anything out of a box, just a new thing I picked up, but it's actually my shirt. So I got this. It's kind of the new 40th anniversary art that came out last year for The Empire Strikes Back.
The Japanese, is it Japanese or Chinese?
I believe it's Japanese.
That's Japanese. That's kanji.
Yeah, that looks like kanji. Yep. So, yep.
Cool.
But I love that graphic. I thought that was really cool. So I picked that up a couple of weeks ago. So that's my latest.
Ferguson,
that's because Lord knows I need another Star Wars shirt because I don't have enough.
Right. Well, I have the poster on order.
Oh yeah, I know. That's the thing. Like, I've got shirts. You've got posters. Exactly. So, Greedo, anything new from you? Anything new you've picked up?
I'll have some stuff.
Or anything that you have available? Okay.
Unveil next time. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I did. I mean, this is completely unrelated, but I have plugged this in and used it. It's the Doug Pinnick.
Oh, nice.
Bass pedal.
Oh yeah. Very nice.
One of my basses back over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not Star Wars related, but
but still cool.
It makes an awesome sound effect that Denver would be proud of.
Nice. Very cool.
Turn your bass into an alien. No problem at all.
So for this episode, we're gonna kind of reverse order on a couple of things. We're gonna do our new segment called Cloud City or Rancor Pit. This is where we basically suggest a show that we recommend a show that we really like that we're currently watching. Doesn't necessarily need to be a new show. What is going on there?
Well, I mentioned turning your bass into an alien, so there you go.
Nice. Well, there you go. We have an alien cameo.
Alien cameo. If you don't like Alien, I don't want to know you.
Exactly. You're dead to me already.
You are dead to me. You are alien fodder.
You are alien fodder.
May you be just bursted.
And I have a face hugger for you. Okay, so like I was saying, we have this new segment we're calling Cloud City or Rancor Pit. It's where we make a recommendation of a show that we either like or one that we dislike. And it doesn't have to be a new show or current show or anything like that. It can be something from 40, 50 years ago if we wanted it to. So we're going to start out this week. I think, Greedo, you went first last time, so I'll go first this time.
Yeah.
This time I've actually got one that kind of falls in the middle.
It's hanging onto the edge of the Rancor Pit.
Yeah, it's just kind of hanging on the edge.
Or is it like Luke under Cloud City?
Right. Yeah. It's more like that probably because it is a little bit more. It is a show I do think is good. It's just, I don't know. It's one of those, I guess the way to sum it up is I wanted to like it more than I do. You know, if that makes any sense. Like I thought I was going to like it better than I ended up liking it. I'm not even through with it yet because that's kind of part of it. Is like when I really like a show like all of us out there, I kind of binge my way through it and just kind of like last week I recommended Ozark. I think I watched all 3 seasons of Ozark in about 2 weeks. You know,
you surpassed
like
me. Yeah,
30 episodes in like 2 weeks.
I haven't seen the 3rd one.
Whereas this show only has, I think, it also has 10 episodes, and I've literally taken like 6 weeks and I'm only through like 6 of them. So I just don't ever feel the motivation to really get back into it. And then what I do is like, it's okay. All right. So I'll cut to it. It's Raised by Wolves.
Oh, okay.
The Ridley Scott show, which again, I love Ridley Scott. We just got through talking about Alien. I absolutely freaking love his work. Again,
Yes.
there are lots of pluses about the show. It's just not, yes, it's just not grabbing. I guess it's just so much, it's a little too out there for my taste. It's very throwback old school science fiction. And I do like that. I really do like that. But I think, and I believe Greedo and I agree on this, I think they focus a little too much on certain characters and not quite enough on certain other story aspects. At least that's what bothers me about it.
Yeah.
So overall, like I said, I wouldn't say don't watch it, but I'm not, singing its praises either, really. I'm really kind of just lukewarm on the whole thing. So that, I don't know what we'll call that. It doesn't really fall into the Rancor pit or, ascend to Cloud City. It just kind of stays in the middle. So, all right. So what do you got for us this week, Greedo?
I've got a Cloud City, a recommendation. We don't rate these shows. We just say whether we're recommending it or not. There's a bunch to choose from, actually, and I'm at the last minute here deciding which one I want to. But I think I'm going to go with 30 Coins. 30 Coins is on HBO Max, and it was originally done in HBO Europe and Spain. And it's just kind of my favorite show right now, honestly. It's another one of these, the 10-episode format seems to be the new thing that everybody's doing. They adopted it from the BBC, it seems like, which is great because most of the time you cut a lot of the filler and everything. But this show is really one of those weird genre mashing shows that comes from a place. I like a lot of Hong Kong cinema and from the 80s, 90s, even 70s. And it reminds me of that a little bit in that there's a lot of love and enthusiasm for a lot of different genres just being reflected in the final product. You can't nail down exactly what the show is. It's like Lovecraftian horror mixed with a telenovela, like a Spanish soap opera mixed with The Omen. So it's there's something for everyone, but I tend to if you don't like subtitles, shame on you. Get over it. Subtitles are great. I
have no problem with subtitles.
I'd much rather watch something subbed than dubbed any day of the week.
Dubbed is the worst. Like great example of that is the show Dark that we both loved.
Yes.
It's like I actually tried watching that with
they do a good job, but it just doesn't work.
I didn't think so. I thought it was. I didn't give it much shot. I literally watched about 2 minutes of it and was like, oh, this is terrible. And I immediately put it back on the subtitles.
Voice actors tried to use a German accent in the English version or something, and instead of just going for it. But anyway, 30 Coins is. And we both just mentioned, if you haven't seen Dark, which no one has, go watch Dark.
Go watch Dark.
Is the most amazing show ever made.
It is one of the best shows
so
I can
far
remember
above
in a long
Cloud
time.
City. It is beyond the beyond. It is amazing.
It really, it goes above Cloud City.
Don't get me started on Dark. We'll end up doing a whole episode on that.
We'll do a whole episode on Dark.
But we would need like the ultimate Venn diagram.
Oh, I know.
For everything that happens on that show. But
it's tough to follow, but it's good. It's amazing.
But anyway, 30 Coins. Check it out. HBO Max. If you don't have HBO Max, you're screwed. I don't know what to tell you. You can't watch it. So my recommendation is down the toilet.
Same with this. I guess this is the HBO Max segment because my show's HBO Max.
HBO Max. So go get it for a month and watch these shows we're recommending, or we're going on.
Right.
And get your own opinion. But
exactly.
30 Coins is a genre mashing thing, and it's fun, and it's also gruesome and horrible and heartwarming and funny. It's very funny, and it kind of reminds me of the glory days of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer almost, or something, but it's much darker and more serious than that. But it does blend those kind of elements into it, and great acting, hilarious, jokes and stuff in the characters. It takes place in a small town, and the small town is its own character, and the characters in the town are just as important as the main characters, and it's very, very cool. So that's excellent. My Cloud City recommendation for this week.
Very cool. All right. So for those of you who are new to us, and what's that?
Run. Let's move on to our Kessel Run. Our 10 parsec.
We're running on now to our new segment called 10 Parsecs. And what that basically means is we have 10 minutes to discuss a topic. And then when the timer goes off, we stop. And then we move on to the next one. We're doing 3 topics. This week, the first topic is going to basically be the whole new wave of CGI and deep fakes and all that, as far as rendering entire characters for a movie in that, basically getting into like Tarkin in Rogue One, Leia in Rogue One, Luke in the season 2 finale of The Mandalorian, that kind of stuff, and kind of what it means to us and how we feel about it. So basically, that's going to be our first topic, and if we're ready, I'm going to start the clock. Okay,
Begin.
and we are on the clock.
Okay.
So why don't you start us off, Greedo? What does this stuff mean to you? I mean, how do you kind of process what it looks like?
Well, I like most people, I have mixed emotions about it, but I have enjoyed everything they've done so far. I don't know. There's some questionable moments for me, like the Leia in Rogue One was a little too uncanny valley. Like I almost wish they had just shown her back or something. But I also really appreciated the boldness with which they just went for it.
Yeah,
and they just said, "Hey, we're doing this. We're showing her not just her face, but a close up, and we're just gonna go for it." And I admire the boldness of that maneuver. And I think you have to have patience and understanding and take it for what it is. They weren't trying to fool anybody. And since then, there's a delineation between CGI, building characters, and deepfake technology, which I don't understand the delineation entirely myself.
Same
but
here,
I know deepfake is more based upon building a cage around the person's face or whatever points, and then placing another person's face over that part
Correct,
of it,
yeah.
and mapping it and having it move and stuff more naturally and everying.
Whereas
and
CGI, I believe, is more of creating the actual face completely on the computer.
Right. And Tarkin, they sort of did the same thing. They used a grid, and it's all about replacing objects with another object.
Right.
But they're trying to increase the amount that they use the actor's performance, and letting that kind of be the basis of the CGI and stuff.
Right.
But my opinion is, in limited use, I think it's fine, because you darn well better use it for a good story and for a good moment, because the moment it's used where it sticks out like a sore thumb and it's bad and no one wants to see it, and the story's bad, and it's used
going to
ruin
your film. Yep.
Yeah, it's really going to just pile on, so it is a bold choice. It's getting less and less bold, and I don't understand how the guys on YouTube are able to do it better sometimes than the people in the professional studios. But more power to them. And I've said this before: if you don't like something, a special effect or something, wait, and it's going to get better.
It's going to get better. Yeah.
Yeah. Computers keep getting more and more powerful. Processing power gets more and more powerful, and they'll probably have to rely less and less on mass numbers of people to do this work, and more on the computers and stuff to do it. and so I think Lucasfilm has a history of going back and redoing things. So if you don't like the way Luke looked in The Mandalorian, wait a couple of years. They'll probably put out a special edition.
They'll put out a new version,
update those scenes. Yeah, because he's standing alone. I mean, they could very easily just work on him and that stuff.
Well, the example that you just gave too, it's like the deepfake version of the Luke that I've seen actually does look better. I mean, I have no problem with what they did on Mandalorian. I think it looked great, but the deepfake does actually look better. I just think it's interesting, the different types of technology. But like you said, to the point of like, how can some random guy on YouTube do a better job of making Luke look like Luke than ILM or whatever,
I kind of go the other direction. I think the CGI they used in The Mandalorian looks better than the deepfakes I've seen, but that's because they had all these artists to work on it. I mean, I don't know how many they used, because they're trying to keep it secret, but they had a lot more resources, I'm assuming, than, like I said, these guys on YouTube who are doing the deepfakes. I think the deepfakes look really cool, but they're not blended perfectly and everything. Like with the background, the Disney version, it fits right in. The problem is, for me, is emoting. The emoting and stuff doesn't come across.
Like you always refer to, like the dead eyes, and stuff.
Yeah, there's dead eyes, and the lips don't move right.
Right.
Lips don't move with any kind of human musculature that we've ever seen. And like when he says, like, "May the force be with you," it's like, "May the force be with you." May the force, force. May the force be with you. It's like force.
Are you speaking through clenched teeth?
Right. Force. Everybody's lip goes. Say force with me, Corellian. Force.
Force.
Say it. No. Say it for real.
Oh, just say it normal.
Yeah.
Force.
There you go. He went horse. May the force. May the horse be with you. It's like But
that is a good point.
Yeah, there's just certain parts of the human interaction and that they haven't got down yet. But you've had some interesting takes on this. I want to hear you talk about it.
Yeah, I really don't mind it. To me, it's still a technology, and I don't know if it's infancy is the right word to say it, but it's still new, and they're still working out the bugs and trying to get it better. I like it because I just like the door that it opens to being able to create things like, 10 years ago they couldn't have put Tarkin in Rogue One.
No.
But adding him in there now, to me, gives it so much more gravitas because we're already invested in that character. We know who he is. You don't have to just come up with a whole new Moff, character to play that role. We already know him. And to me, it makes it better just that we get to see more fleshing out of his story and kind of what he was doing before we saw him in Star Wars. So from that aspect, I like it. I thought Tarkin looked great in the film. I didn't have a problem with it. I know it's pretty much a polarizing thing. People seem to either love it or hate it. I also didn't have a problem with Leia in Rogue One, although I do get that, she, it didn't look the best. But kind of like to your point, Greedo, I think I like the fact that they just went for it. They had the guts to just go for it, and not just
the only way to
bail out and show the back of her head.
The only way to go for it anymore would have been to recast. And that would have been a whole different animal. They're skirting this line of keeping it the old fans like us appeased by using the originals. And it brings up this whole mess of in the future, especially with superhero films being what they are now. You can have all these superheroes do cameos in costume and never even use the actors' faces. But I wonder when these guys sign up for like MCU or something, do they have to sign now for their likeness to be used in future films? Like,
I'm sure they do. Yeah. That's another whole legal aspect of all this. I have a feeling that at one point, because here's my thing. And I would love to get your take on. I don't think I've ever brought this up to you. What I would love to see is another Indiana Jones film done with a de-aged Harrison Ford.
You would like to see that?
I would love to see that. And I can tell by your take, you do not want to see that. I would absolutely love to see that.
You will die. To embrace a full understanding of the Force.
So why would you not want to see that? Do you think it would just be too hokey looking, or?
Well, if they ever get the stuff right, maybe. But I'm not a fan of like CGI movies. The ones.
No, I agree. I agree.
The ones
Aquaman,
that kind of cross over.
Like
it took me 10 years to watch Beowulf. You remember Beowulf?
Yo, that was so bad.
Yeah, but see, I enjoyed it once I watched it 10 years later because I no longer was creeped out by it, and I just took it as a cartoon, as an animated.
Right.
But I'm old enough to have enjoyed the hand-drawn animation, and I still have a little bit of resentment towards CGI taking the craftsmanship of the hand-drawn animation away. Although I know Jack's crap about CGI and how much goes into it, so I really shouldn't resent it, but because I'm sure there's a ton of work from artists that goes into it. But but anyway. To me, that would be skirting. It's kind of like this Tom and Jerry movie cartoon commercials I'm seeing. Like, why not make that a cartoon? Why? What is the appeal of filming actors doing, takes and then throwing a blatant cartoon over it? It's too much of a clash. And like Sonic the Hedgehog and like all these things they try to do. One or the other, maybe. At least Tron, they have the decency to go, okay, we're entering the computer world now.
Right.
We're entering the animated world now.
Things are going to look different. Yeah. Exactly. But anyway, I would love to see that. I just think it would be pretty cool.
If it's done in service to something great, I'll be won over. If the story is just freaking great,
Yeah, no, it all boils down to story. I don't want them to do the CGI for the sake of the CGI. Of course. I mean, I would love, if they had another great script they could do, but it required, or fit the motif of the young Indiana Jones versus the current, Harrison Ford Indiana Jones. I would just love to see that. I don't know why. I've always had that on my mind for the last few years when I've seen this new wave of CGI. I just have a feeling that eventually we're going to get to the point where we're seeing a lot of the actors that are either passed on, come back in their younger prime selves, and we're going to see them again in movies as though they're back again.
And there's a big issue here with deepfakes in general being used to emulate real people in real life. and then the danger we could get into when we think we see something that didn't actually happen.
Yeah,
and then
you have a video of someone saying something they never said.
There's also creative and intellectual and personal property rights of actors and people being reproduced digitally and stuff that's very dicey. Is a whole new frontier, just like with the internet. We've been fighting over internet rights and everything for years since it's happened, and they're going to be fighting over this stuff, and lawyers will figure it out. But if we have time, I wanted you to. Is it over?
That's our time. That's our time.
That was 9 parsecs if you round it down.
Not 9 parsecs.
If you round it down.
10 parsecs. All right, next subject. We're getting into autograph collecting. And I have a feeling Greedo has a couple of opinions on this subject. Considering that's one of his things. But basically, we're going to discuss CGI. Auto collecting. CGI. Just did that one. Autograph collecting, some of our favorite autograph collecting moments, and just kind of our overall take on where that is right now and why we do or don't like that. Okay, so I'll start.
And did you know that now you can put down $200 and do a meet and greet with CGI Thor? It's like he's completely CGI. It's like they actually did that in the Jay and Silent Bob reboot or whatever. They had this Chris Hemsworth. Have you seen that scene where his hologram shows up at a Comic-Con and he says, "Don't touch the hologram" or something like that? Because the girl's like freaking out and trying to like do sex poses with his hologram. And he's like, "Don't do that. Don't do that to the hologram."
I love it.
Okay, but autograph.
Right. So let me start the timer, and now we're on the clock.
Okay, I want to hear like how did you get started in Star Wars autographs? And
my first the first time I even started collecting Star Wars autographs was the Star Wars celebration in 2010 in Orlando, and that was my first celebration. And so my first autograph was Jeremy Bulloch, actually. And it was a great meeting. What's that?
Who is a hero to us for
absolutely, yeah. For those of you who don't know, he was one of the main guys playing Boba Fett in the original trilogy. But he was very nice, so friendly and kind, and taking time to talk to me and my friend who were there, and just had a great experience. So that's kind of where I got my start. And I met a few others there, like Julian Glover. I met Peter Mayhew, among others. So I had a great time. That's kind of how I got started. Just picking up a few things here and there. Ray Park, I think, was one of the big ones. Anthony Daniels as well. Had a great experience meeting him. Who was
the like headliner Star Wars guest at 2010?
At 2010 was Mark Hamill. Yeah.
Did you get his autograph then?
I did not. No, I did not. Because at the time, it's weird, and I know we'll get into this a little bit more, but at the time, compared to prices today, he was fairly inexpensive. But at the time, it was remember my head being blown off. It's like $100. And it may not have been that, but I thought it was about $100.
Probably was.
150 bucks, something like that.
Probably 125 or something.
This is 11 years ago. But it was about $100, and I remember thinking, "Holy moly, I would never pay that." That I know, because at the same time, I'm getting people like Jeremy Bulloch and guys like that for like $25.
Yeah,
$25, $30. Julian
and you're
Glover,
getting to meet them and talk to them, and they're amazing. Yeah,
right. Yeah, and they're spend time with you, because I think it was also, again, even though celebrations had been going on for several years at that point, it wasn't the event that it is now. It wasn't the level of event. You could literally walk up to the table. They didn't even have the cordons there to line you up, because they knew they didn't need it. If there were 2 people in line, it was
somebody
would
just come out once in a while and say, "Hey, it's getting long. Make a line over the left side."
Right, exactly. Right side. I mean, now that's not true for Mark Hamill, of course. He had a 2-hour line, no matter what.
Hamill.
Yeah, he had a 2-hour line, period. But
Carrie Fisher was there, right?
Who's that?
Carrie Fisher was there too.
She was there as well. Yeah, they were the 2 headliners. But anyway, so that's basically kind of how I got started. How about you? You of course have a much larger history with it than I do. So what's your...
As far as getting started, we had gotten different Star Wars autographs over the years as opportunity arose, but I was never an autograph person. I don't really have any autographs. We were in the convention scene in the 80s as kids. In Memphis during the initial Memphis, Shelby County Comic Con, or whatever they were
Comic-Cons,
called.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was before Comic Con even. It was like Shelby County or Memphis Fantasy Con or something
Fantasy
like that.
cons or something, yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't like conventions much back then because it just. I mean, I won't go into how I pigeonholed the people that went to conventions,
yeah.
but let's just say I kind of held my breath a lot of these conventions, and really just some of the people. And I would go with Gundark a lot of times, and with other females. I almost always went with females, not males. Well, females. They had a rough time at early conventions.
Yeah.
That way. So it wasn't fun to witness or it's like, how many dudes, dummies am I going to have to be down at this thing before before it ends? But anyway, that's a whole other story. But we kind of were guest liaisons. Like I did a panel with some Blake 7 actors where they actually asked me, because they were coming to Memphis for the first time, and they were like, we don't want to get up in front of all these people and to discuss something, because it barely aired in Memphis even, there was, and so they're like, so this crap, so come and sit at the table with us. And so I was like, what, really? You want me to sit at the table with you? So I got autographs from those people, just because I liked the show. And they had, 8x10s and stuff, but I didn't even keep track of it. Gundark took those and put them in a folder somewhere, and I just discovered them again, 35 years later. But I was always about meeting people and talking to people, and that was, I would have been into photo ops, but back then there really wasn't photo ops.
They really didn't do that.
Lean in and
this is way before. And this is way before
there was no cell phones.
There were no cell phones. Everybody didn't have a camera in their pocket.
No, you had the ones with the cube on it, or the disposable ones that you took.
The disposable ones,
pictures and threw it in the boxed, and then you come back later and get your prints.
Exactly.
And half of them were, the ceiling, or there was no way to guarantee you were ever going to get anything.
Exactly.
So, and then also the person in the print box would make a mistake, and you could have your roll back black or whatever.
Exactly. They could have overexposed it for you.
Yeah. So. Any case,
let's move on to a little bit more of the kind of the current. We've got about 4.5 minutes left, so I want to get into just the kind of the
that's
current.
How I started, and then in 2017 at Celebration, I almost forswore autographs altogether because Topps handling of the autograph queues were so bad.
It was really abysmal.
And the interaction with the celebrities was so bad. But then people like Jeremy Bullock and Ian McDermott and some others. Ray Park and Daniel Logan.
Daniel Logan,
yeah. People like that kind of redeemed it for me, and then I just started picking up pieces here and there, and also started going to more, like 3 or 4 conventions a year, that had Star Wars guests, and getting a lot of autographs. So, and now my thing is posters, pretty much. But I do.
Yeah, you've got quite the assortment of posters there.
Yeah,
with lots of autographs. Not even just Star Wars. You've got a fantastic.
But I've bought autographs, and I've had them collected in person. I have never sold a one. So,
and that's not what it's about. It's never been what it's about for me either. I've never sold an autograph in my life. That's not what.
They're not an investment to me.
No, exactly. And the point you made earlier, to me, it's more about that meet and greet experience. Like I think I referred to you the other day, is like I look at the autograph as the souvenir from the meet and greet. I'm not going there to get your autograph. I'm going there to meet you and talk to you and see you in person, not to get your writing your name on a piece of paper. That's just the souvenir, the memory from it for me.
And it's become to me also like a memento, another kind of tribute to these films I love. So when I get a picture and I send it around to the guys from ILM, and I don't actually get to meet them, but they sign it and send it back or whatever. And then I frame it and put it on the wall. To me, it's like, if you have the Falcon with everybody signing it that worked on the Falcon, to me, that's cool in and of itself. So it's gone beyond just the meet and greet thing to where it's another thing I collect to just kind of show my appreciation of not just the main actors and stuff, but so many people. Our appreciation of these movies has deepened over the years and was pretty deep to begin with. We knew a lot of behind the scenes stuff when we were kids. So anyway, it's more about that also because especially this last year, we don't have a chance to go meet anyone, because of COVID.
With the current state.
So that stuff's been shut down.
Yeah, it's been, like I said, now I think it's just, I know you and I have been discussing it a lot lately, and to me, it's almost like the autograph business is pricing itself out of existence, or at least limiting itself to the super collectors. for lack of a better phrase. It's like, now you're getting secondary and tertiary characters all charging $200 and more.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, but you used to, even
because the show they're on or whatever is a hot property.
Yeah. I don't get that. That to me makes me absolutely not want another autograph.
And this is another discussion, but I'm idealistic, and I believe that an autograph is something you do to show appreciation for the fans who put you in the role in the first place and who made you a success, helped make you a success with positive reaction, positive support, all the support. And it's become an industry that's filled with middlemen now. And I'm not going to sit here and blame the middlemen, because I like a lot of the middlemen. I know some of the middlemen, they're fine, but there's definite greed on someone somewhere, somebody's part, to where it's like you said, why should I sign 100 autographs at a certain price when I can sign one for the same price?
For the same price,
for the same price that I would get for 100. And I understand that, but come on, really, did you get into acting to sign autographs, and make a living off of convention appearances?
It's like, how you're gonna make your living? Almost like eventually gonna make more money off signing autographs than they are for playing the role.
And I my thought is, I went to Mississippi Comic Con and I saw all these hundreds of people there on Saturday, and all these celebrities sitting around, and people trying to, some of the people in lines, but a lot of people just walking by and looking at them. And it's like, that's as close as they're going to get to them, is looking at them across the room, because you're not allowed to take a picture of them sitting at their table.
Right.
Most of them, if they do a panel, it's very brief, or they might be on a panel with a bunch of other people, and you may not even get to go in and see it.
Yep.
So these people going to the convention are paying a ticket to go in and stuff, and they may be able to afford one autograph or something, and so these people are getting kind of crushed under this, is my opinion.
All right, and that's our time on that. All right, so our third and final topic for this episode, we're going to revisit the Star Wars films. We might not necessarily talk about all of them, but what we're going to basically discuss here is, which films do we find ourselves going back to and watching more and more regularly versus the films that we just don't ever seem to really revisit much, and kind of why. So that's the topic. Let me go ahead and get the timer started, and we're off and running. So how would you like to start us off, Greedo? What's a movie that you go? Well, if you had to pick one movie that you watch the most often, which one would it be?
Right now, or in recent memory, it would be most likely Rogue One.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Rogue One, especially for the last, 40 minutes. It's just, you can just turn that on and watch it over and over again, and it's amazing.
Phenomenal film.
Yep. I love Rogue One, and it is got so many movies crammed into one, which is part of its weakness, but it's also part of its strength for going back and rewatching it, because you can kind of pick and choose even where you want to watch it from. Or,
exactly.
There's different storylines you can focus on, whatever. There's different portions. But yeah, Rogue One for sure. And then I have recently, this is kind of cheating, but I've recently gone back and been watching the original Star Wars movies without the special edition stuff. Which I won't go into how you can get those, because they do exist officially on one of the DVD releases. At least I think Star Wars does. I'm not sure about the others, but you can look around and get, the original versions are very close to it. And those blew my mind last year when I watched them again. And it brought me back to seeing them in the theater and refreshed my mind on so many things that have, in my mind, have replaced what actually happened with the special editions and things like that, and to go back and see what we saw on screen, much closer to what we saw on screen, and hear all the things much closer to what we saw on screen is amazing. That being said, it's Rogue One and Return of the Jedi. It's not at the top of my list of Star Wars films, as we know, but it is incredibly rewatchable for me. And I just go get a drink during the Ewok parts or whatever. Don't worry. I don't sweat the stuff that's wrong with it. And then actually Revenge of the Sith, which I hate to pander to you by saying that, because it's the greatest Star Wars composition of all time.
Oh, I love it.
But
let's not exaggerate too badly there.
I watch more Revenge of the Sith in internet memes than I do in actual Revenge of the Sith. But
well, like you said, I think the other day the prequels are great meme fodder.
The internet would have died on the vine without the prequels a long time ago. But Backstroke of the West, I'll watch that over. That is incredible.
Hilarious. If you haven't seen that, that's a recommendation. If you haven't seen that, watch Backstroke of the West. We're not going to say anything more about what it is. Just go watch it.
But Revenge of the Sith, from the moment it starts to go dark, and that's my favorite part of the movie. I don't like the beginning very much, but the rewatchable part is kind of all the stuff between Anakin and Darth Sidious, the Emperor, and things like that for me.
Yeah, I agree.
And I enjoyed that. What about you?
Well, for me, I think Rogue One is definitely up there. I tend to watch that at least the last couple of years. I tend to go back to that one pretty regularly. Also, The Empire Strikes Back, because again, it's my favorite film, so I tend to put that in regular rotation.
Although ironically, in the theater recently. So
what's that? Exactly. I hate that I missed it.
So it is rewatchable.
Yeah, I really hate that I missed it. I wanted to see that in the theater again, because I haven't seen it in the theater, I think, since the special edition in '97. But anyway, actually, ironically though, last night I watched Return of the Jedi, so that's in there as well. So let me kind of turn it.
We're both admitting our weaknesses here today.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of turn it now to one that I did. To me, there's a film that I really liked it. Yes, I know that's past tense, but and it hasn't aged that well for me, and that's Solo.
Okay.
And again, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not ripping it. I'm not saying it's terrible. It's an awful movie.
Well, you always going on and on about how it was too dark, so I can understand.
Yeah, that was me.
Would say that now.
That was certainly me. But yeah, now it's not aging that well. I know the last couple of times I've tried to watch it, I'm like, oh, okay. It's just kind of is there, And I don't know I know sometimes you just kind of ebb and flow with liking films, and you're in the mood for it and you're not in the mood for it or whatever. But that one for me, it's not currently getting it done, as it were.
It's no Susan Lucci of the Star Wars world.
Right. So what about
Pick it up, Solo. You're not currently getting it done. Do better.
Exactly. So what about you? Is there one that jumps out at you that you?
Yeah, the same one as always. The Last Jedi.
Well, that one to me that one goes without saying. There's nothing.
Unable to watch that from beginning to end anymore. I will flip to the part with the throne room fight.
Right.
And I try not to pay attention to how sloppy that is and just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I flip to that part, and then sometimes I watch the Ben Luke confrontation at the end, because there's some good stuff there. But no, I can't watch that movie. There's no way I can sit all the way through that. No. That destroys. After we saw it, I said this destroys any future marathon, Star Wars marathon.
Right?
No way.
This is the one. At that point.
Yeah. But yeah, that one and Attack of the Clones is my all-time, just unwatchable. No reason to watch that whatsoever. The bit with the sand people is sort of okay. I like seeing Anakin start to turn a little dark, but the stuff between Obi-Wan and Anakin to me is unwatchable in that. I just don't like the relationship in that at all.
It's probably the worst dialogue of any Star Wars film.
And I just don't buy it. They're just annoying.
Yeah.
I wanted a much better, master-apprentice relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that's what those prequels should have focused on. But a movie that I find myself, when it's on, watching more often than not, and it being rewatchable, is Phantom Menace, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Because I forget all about it. I do too. There's no in it anymore.
That is like the forgotten film to me. Yeah.
And if you wait a few minutes, some part will come up that's either so dumb you'll laugh, or that is cool, like the lightsaber fight at the end or something. And the characterizations, even though the acting is we don't criticize actors here, by the way. We're not trying to criticize
not at
actors.
all. Yeah.
The performances, whatever, for whatever reason, don't come off that well in that movie. But there are some good characterizations in there. Like, I've always liked Qui-Gon and thought he was a good example of a Jedi and stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that.
Now that the shock is over of them talking about midichlorians and virgin births and stuff, I don't worry about that stuff anymore. No. Solo, I haven't watched really again, but there's parts of that I like, but we'll see. We always come back to this stuff and you have a fresh impression of it later. But but yeah, for me, The most unwatchable remains unchanged.
Yeah. If we're gonna talk most unwatchable,
Last Jedi
it's Last
Attack
Jedi
of the
for
Clones.
me. Yeah, I just can't watch that at all. I just, like you said, there's a couple I can cherry pick it, and there's a couple of scenes here and there that I don't mind, but as a whole, I can't just sit down and watch it all the way through.
And sadly, Rise of Skywalker is right up there with it because it's been available now on Disney Plus and all kinds of services, and we have it on Blu-ray and stuff, and I just don't ever want to watch it. It's just
I went through phases with that one. Like when it first came out, you probably remember I was watching it quite often, especially when it first came out on. I actually got the digital version first before I bought the Blu-ray, and I actually watched it, a couple times a week, for the first few weeks, and I do like the film. Okay, I mean, but that's all, in the context of compared to what. It's like compared to The Last Jedi, I love it, because I almost like having a tooth extraction that is great compared to The Last Jedi. But
no, the story is better what there is of it, but it shows
it's still got so many problems.
sloppy. It shows all the flaws from the sequel trilogy come together in one spot, and they just can't dodge. It's like the Matrix; you can't dodge all those bullets in real life, so really they get hit a bunch of times. I love the scene with Harrison Ford.
That's probably the highlight of the film.
Yeah, I like. I felt like the sequel trilogy ultimately was Adam Driver's thing, and so I like Ben Solo in that film, but. That's not enough
It's not enough. Yeah, what they did wasn't
to make me. I don't want to go back and watch it again. Their fight on the Death Star isn't that compelling to me. The stupid fake out with Evil Rey and all the fake deaths and the real deaths that are just anticlimactic. It's just,
I agree. So overall, I'd say I tend to gravitate more towards original trilogy, a little bit of prequel trilogy, Rogue One, throw that in there, and just far less to the sequel trilogy, obviously.
And I would go back and watch Force Awakens again, no problem.
Same here, yeah.
I just don't. I don't get the itch to do it that much, but
I don't. But I do watch it on occasion.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it holds up as a decent film.
Yeah, I think so as well. So anyway,
we're not just sequel trilogy haters here.
No, there are definitely things to like.
I just can't deny the truth about them, though.
Right, absolutely, and especially I just don't think they hold up to. No, I don't think they age well, and I don't think they hold up to comparison to the other films. So
no.
Yeah. All right, and that's our time on that one. So those are our 3 subjects for this episode. We'll definitely be back and do 3 more, hopefully next week, as long as everybody's healthy and good to go. And then we've got probe droids searching all through the galaxy trying to find Gundark. And hopefully we will find her and she will return to us, and we will have 3 people here to discuss this stuff next time. But in closing, do you have anything to say, Greedo?
Probably not right now. Just here we are. It's February 2021.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the next television outings. Also looking forward to the MCU. We're going to, we have our little series that you and I did called The Outer Rim, which very cliche title. We have to change it maybe to something else. I don't know what, but but we're probably going to find some other shows to discuss. We were just talking before we started this about WandaVision.
Because what have we done in the past? We've done Game of Thrones, we've done Walking Dead, and now we're going to kind of expand that and do some
Discovery. We kind of
witnessed
the demise of some of our favorites, unfortunately.
That's kind of what it is. We kind of picked up on
your show. It's the kiss of death.
Right.
It goes off the cliff.
Yeah, it's like if we start talking about it, that means we're starting to really not like it.
And then we can't even talk about it anymore. It's so bad.
So we don't even keep it going.
You will not find us discussing the Walking Dead finale from last year because it's just depression. So much. How can you handle that? We have enough bad stuff to handle right now.
Exactly.
But yeah, hopefully the world starts to come out of the end of this COVID thing and starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel. We got to keep some optimism.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look forward to movies coming back and being events again, and more TV shows coming out, them resuming production. A lot of things production has been really messed up, and Lucasfilm has an advantage there in that enclosed environment they've done. What do they call it? The way they do the Mandalorian. Yeah, that
I don't remember
sound,
the name
that
of it.
sound stage where everything is
projected onto screens. Yeah, it's like
they
a
can actually
360
control.
degree.
Yeah, they can control their environment and go anywhere in the universe they want. Instead of shooting on location at different places and having to worry about travel, exposure, and all that. So that's great, and we'll see how that affects things going forward with COVID. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to, is things getting more back to normal. People being able to mingle again, conventions coming back again. I'm not looking forward to the prices, but
I agree. I'm looking forward to all that stuff as well. I really, even though I've been to the theater a couple of times the past 8 or 9 months, I do miss that as a regular thing, and the new films coming out and things like that. So, I did manage to go last summer and catch a re-release of Raiders of the Lost Ark in the theater, and then I saw the latest Tom Hanks film, News of the World, back over the Christmas holiday.
What did you think of that?
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought it was good. Yeah,
was it as good as what was the one with Jeff Bridges and the remake?
Oh, True Grit.
Yeah, was it as good as that? Was it like that? Or?
I think I like True Grit. I think I'd give it the nod to True Grit. But this was still really good. It was kind of a unique story, and though you kind of have to see it to really get what I'm saying. But the way the story progressed, it wasn't a traditional story progression, I thought. So that was kind of unique to me. So I did like that.
So it was like Remains of the Day meets a Western.
Yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed it. But yeah, so yeah, here we are kicking off 2021. We've had a couple episodes now, and
I look forward to us being able to do things together again. Events, and bring them to our channel, and hopefully,
because I missed that too. Like, when we did the Pensacon, last year, almost a year ago now, right at the end of February last year, we did Pensacon, and and if you haven't seen those, you can look on our channel. We've got our, videos of that that we put together. That I would say as a Greedo put it together. That were really good. But we had a blast doing that stuff. So yeah, I really missed that, and I would love to have some more events where we can go out, do some filming, and kind of bring that, especially to those of you who can't go to those events. That way you can kind of see the event through our eyes, as it were, and enjoy it that way, kind of vicariously through us, if nothing else. So
I just hope we've lost so much, so many things over the last year. I hope that trend stops and we get back to some more enjoyment and celebrating things and just survival and people start to thrive again, and a lot less anger and hatred out there in the world, and more getting about business.
Exactly.
People being decent and everything. So hope that starts to happen too. But that's beyond our scope of our discussion.
So anyway, well, as always, we thank you guys for tuning in and checking us out. Please remember to like us, hit the little bell icon so you can get updates and notifications when we post new episodes. Leave us some comments. We love talking to you and hearing from you. And
if you've watched this far and you have any Cloud City or Rancor Pit, recommendation, or you want something you want to trash,
put them in the comments.
If we see it, we'll bring it. We'll check it out.
We'll mention it and we'll check it out.
Things here, yeah.
Absolutely. So. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Take her easy.
Yeah.
We all know around here, solo always does shots first.
That's always my fear,
We'll have to CGI recreate our characters.
We'll do a deep fake on us.
It's a recreation across the bottom.
Yeah, recreation. All right, welcome back to another episode of the whatever the hell it's called. Wow, my brain is not functioning. All right, starting again, take 2. Wow, this is gonna be fun.
Club Cantona.
Shoot me now. All right. Okay.